If you're doing good, say good. Good. Awesome. If you're here to learn, say learn. Learn. Awesome. Let's get started here. As you saw there, Guido Palau is basically the muse for Redken. We've been talking, Mary talked about it earlier this morning in terms of Fashion Week. Having the opportunity to work Fashion Week is an experience beyond none. In other words, it's a great opportunity in terms of developing your skills, developing your eyes, developing your hands, but most importantly, what Guido has done and how he has affected the hair industry in the last 10 years is pretty incredible. For the editor of Vogue to make a statement, 8 out of the 10 looks that Guido creates at Fashion Week eventually become a trend. A few years back, or last couple seasons, Guido brought back what was called the lob, which is a longer bob. But a bob is a classical shape, but it's how we work with it that really, really changes it. So what I want to do is take something that's already an existing bob, pretty close to, it's got some layers, got an underlayer underneath it. But what I want to do is talk about, in terms of where's the trend going? It was going with the idea of bobs, but yet longer like bobs, but some people want it shorter. But what makes it different? It's the silhouette of the bob that makes it different. So what's next, Sam? Well, everybody started talking about pixies and how we were doing it short on top. But now what's going to happen is you're going to turn everything upside down. So you're going to take your undercuts, your underlayers, and now the degree of shortness is going to be on top, and the degree of length is going to be underneath. And what we mean by that is this. Your ladies that had these pixies have discovered that they love layers now, but yet they want to grow out their pixie. So they're going to start to grow their length out, but they're going to maintain some type of graduation or layers to the top. As you see, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and work with the top area, but I'm going to work with a diamond type section. Why? What we discovered, now there's a new word for you. Let's think, say, and do differently. It has come time to change the industry. Eliminate the word asymmetrical and say, let's tilt your haircut. Eliminate the word volume and say, let's make your crown frothy. Eliminate the word texturize and say, let's vandalize your crown. Got your attention. Got your attention. And that's what it's about, guys, about getting the attention of the client. If you say, I'm going to vandalize your crown, the client's going to say, well, what do you mean? That's exactly what I want the client to say. If you're with us so far, a round of applause. All right, so I'm going to go through and create my diamond section and continue with that, but most importantly, look how I'm going to do it with a plus sign. And if you take a look at Kiala over here to my right, to your left, she's going to be working with a Stylist app. The Stylist app, I'm going to suggest that you download the Stylist app on your iPad, travel with it to your shows, but most importantly, use it in your salons as a lookbook, as a notes for each client you have. So it's your client information card, basically, and that's the Stylist app. So take a look at Kiala to your left, to my right, and let's give her a round of applause for what Kiala Martici is doing for you. All right, so I'm going to continue with my section. And you'll see how that diamond section is going to work in terms of tilting the bob back rather than moving forward.
Wonderful. Good afternoon, VTC. How you guys doing? Woo! All right. So what we're doing here is we're talking about that lob shape. And the idea here is we're going to do like a shape of a form of graduation called reverse graduation. What does that mean? So that means that we're starting off with one section at the nape, below in the nape, that starts off one length, and then as we work down to the next section, each subsequent section gets left a little bit longer. I'm also utilizing a point cutting technique that requires no thumb, meaning instead of holding the scissors in a classic form and moving your thumb like this, you'll notice that you're wanting the guiding blade to rest along the inside. Well, if you're holding it conventionally like this, that can't happen. So what you do is you actually take your thumb away, and then just close on it. Close on that, and then just move your opposite finger. So now you'll notice that you're going to rest that guiding blade along the inside as you're moving through. This will allow you to execute the technique in a lot more efficient manner. So when you're doing this, just have a look at this side right here. So as you're doing this, you just point and shoot. What you're going to do is scan across as you point at the perimeter. You'll notice that by keeping the shear parallel with the line of the hair, you're going to get a lot more softer filtered perimeter versus a blunt. So, sometimes clients in the salon say, Hugo, can you give me a shape that looks razored, but not use the razor? And you're like, sure, I'm a magician. So the idea on that is do a technique or utilize a technique that'll give them the result that they're asking for and address their concerns. Maybe this would be a really great way to be a gateway technique towards using the razor if they are leery or concerned about utilizing the razor. If you're with me, give me a hey, hey.
Hey!
Wonderful. Now, just to also give you set up what we've done to start this, she's our model Lauren has a lot of hair here, so the idea is if I just start putting the perimeter in, she's going to have a very hard shelf. What I would like to do is take the weight out. So very simply, just taking some a layering technique here that you can utilize in the salon every day. You just take a quadrant here. In this case, we'll take the left front quadrant. We're going to elevate that hair 90 degrees vertically with a horizontal finger angle. I've done that already on her right side. I'm just going to elevate the hair towards the center part and then slide past where I've cut it. And again, just keeping the same idea, the concept of keeping the scissors in line with the hair, opening and closing, and scanning across. So the concept here is we're borrowing the concept of utilizing the razor, how do you use the razor, from the scalp to the ends. But instead of using the friction, you're just opening and closing the same via dry cutting scissors. So I'm going to continue with that same technique in the back, and then we'll get you caught up. Also, if you'd like the diagram, Kiala, I think, has brought it up for you. She can show you. It's two very quick diagrams so you can see the partings. So you can see just above the hairline in red, that's the first section that you do. You bring that down and you take the same point cutting technique with no thumb and scan across. Then the next section, at the top of the ear, again, it's horizontal, and you drop it approximately a half an inch longer than the previous. And then over the top, you take the weight out, like we're going to do, and then knock out that perimeter edge. So you can see I'm just going to connect here. You can see where we've left off, and then we're just going to connect to that same point over the center part.
Notice how,
sorry, give it up for Kiala Marvici. All right, thank you.
And notice how Hugo's talking about scanning. The language is changing, guys. We've got to move on. So rather than point cutting, can you imagine if you say to the client, I'm going to scan your length? She's going to say, what do you mean? Let's get the conversation started again. Now, Kiala, let's take a look at the sectioning. If you look at the sectioning, you'll see I've got a diamond section up on top. Then I separated front to back in the side area, just over the ear. Then I separated a fringe area. So now look at what I'm doing. I'm working through the back area. What I want to do is I want to collapse this. But I don't necessarily want to go through and collapse it so much with scissor over comb and crop it so much. Not meant necessarily for every client. What we have to do is look at the personality of the client. Next thing I want you to know is I'm cutting this dry for the sake of time. If I was in the salon, I would be cutting this wet. But when we cut an area, let's pause and let's blow dry. Then go to your next area. Cut that, pause, and blow dry. Let's give the client a different experience. So as I elevate this, watch what I'm doing. I'm taking everything. You can see from ear to ear, that's an underlayer. It's detached. Eliminate the word disconnection, and let's detach an area of your haircut. Disconnection can be fearful to clients, but it creates today's movement, it creates today's volume, and it creates today's texture. Product of choice. I went in with my Pillow Poo Prime. Pillow Poo Prime will eliminate and save the process of drying. It speeds up the drying process. Finishing now has become just as important as the haircut. Why are blow dries opening up? Because it's the new shampoo set. Clients are now going in on weekly blow dries and trying to save themselves time so they can spend time with their family or take the overtime hours. Does it affect our business, Sam? No, what we're suggesting is be aware that the skill set of blow drying is very, very important to the client, and at the same time, teaching your client how to do things. That's value. Why did JCPenney hire Martha Stewart? Because they realized they needed to add value to JCPenney. Why did H&M hire Stella McCartney? Same thing. Ask yourself, what's the value that you're giving to the client behind the chair? The value is simple things. Simple things of teaching them different things in terms of how to blow dry. Why they need to be doing the things that they're doing. Now take a look at what I just did. Underneath doing that, all it did was simply collapse that. So how'd you do that, Sam? All I simply did was work from front to back. We divided center back. We elevated all the way up and over into the center. So I just wrapped it over the top of the head to the center of the diamond. Did that on both sides. That collapses him. Here's the interesting thing. Look at this. It creates an angle that is from short to long that does this. Short to long. So I didn't have to take vertical sections, elevate, vertical, vertical. Clients want in and they want out. It's a different world being a hairdresser. Different world, my friends. Notice what Sam's doing. I'm compressing sections. The days of taking fine sections are still going to be around. But we've discovered other ways that we can create shapes in a shorter period of time. And things are changing. We need to adapt different skills. We need to use different ways in terms of how we're working. Working through the side area, up. Now look at the guideline. From that back area, AC. Take a look at that. See that back section? Right there. There's my guideline. Now AC, all we're going to do is we're going to elevate that up. As soon as I get straight up vertically, I'm going to release the front. Now watch. Straight up, and now here comes the front. Sam, you're crazy. No, watch this. What happens is, immediately, watch this AC, when that falls, now I've rounded the front of that. And I made that very, very soft. Let's go, there we go, you got it, AC. So I made that very soft, whereas before, that was very, very full in that area. I'm going to continue to do the same thing on the opposite side. Once again, product of choice, Pillow Proof Prime. Why? To speed up the process of blow drying.
Awesome. Well said, Sam. And amen to the fact that, you know what, we're changing our dialogue. We're changing the way that we're looking at hairdressing. You know, here's one thing I want to share with you is this awesome color that Justin Isaac, you know what, give it up for Justin Isaac, you guys.
Woo! Yep.
Really, really exciting, super duper genius as it relates to, you know, very creative solutions to make you have fun as an artist. I think it's fair to say that when we signed up to be hairdressers, we didn't sign up for boring. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
So the idea here, yeah, and so the idea is, you know, he has a really great technique where he just did like basically like a figure's width of a splash of color that you can see right there. Now the idea is with this shape to go through and start to visually let that pull through. Just so pinch and top some of that hair that veils right over that color, just to start to see a little bit more of that pop through. Now, what's great about this is when he pulls it to the side, or when she changes her part, she can really start to see a lot more of that veil pop over. What's great is just the fact that, you know, we've got that plan for her to have like that dual identity, that alter ego, if you will. And I think that's the idea, is to understand you don't have to do a lot to have a very big impact as it relates to your overall shapes. Does that make sense, you guys? So the idea on this, for the blow dry prep to do this, we use the Pillow Proof Primer, and then we also use satinware and just blow dries everything on base, or actually in natural falling position. So basically, the way gravity would pull on the hair. So what I love about this shape is that, yes, it has that feeling of that one length. It looks seamless in one length, but it does have a really beautiful softness to it, a lot of airiness through the perimeter. So the idea is, because bobs don't go out of style, they just reappear in a different way. You know, when we're talking about what's trendy, it's either the length that Sam's working on at the base of the jaw, or this longer bob shape right now. As far as, you know, where we're getting some of our inspiration cues, redkit.com, and another one that we love to do is when you look at fashionizing.com, they have really great segments on there that share with you what celebrities are wearing, what the red carpet's doing, also what the runways are showing, but most importantly, how the consumer can take that idea and actually apply it at home. So what I want to share with you is to start by showing you a way to
Here's why Sam is moving to a diamond. Let's lose the horseshoes. Can you imagine? By show of hands, how many of you work with the horseshoe section? You're going to stack here. Come on, raise your hand if you know or work with the horseshoe section. Now, can you imagine if I'm a client, I move from one salon to another, and everybody's doing the same section? My concern is going to be, do hairdressers do anything else? If you followed Sam, you followed Redken, we moved from horseshoes to umbrellas because we wanted to detach the crown so the crown would get frothy. That was a discovery. Lose the word learn, go back to the salon and say, I discovered blah, 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 X, Y, Z, A, B, C. Client's going to go, you discovered? What'd you discover? If you go back and said, I learned A, B, C, X, Y, Z, their little voices going, yeah, you learn all the time. Change the language, guys. So the idea behind the diamond, watch this. I'm going to collapse that now. When you collapse this will fall with an angle short to long. That's why I'm working with a diamond. Because I want this area on the top to move back. You girls are wearing skirts in fashion, short in the front, long in the back. That's a mullet skirt, AC. It is a mullet skirt. But here's the point I'm trying to make, my friends, AC, is the fact that everything is tilting back away from the face when it does this angle. Welcome back, Farrah Fawcett. Hair is moving back away from the face. There's so much frustration going on in the world. Clients are standing at your front desk going like this, and we want to cut it to go like this. They're tucking their hair behind their ears. So now take a look at that angle. When it falls, AC, it falls, moving itself back. So it leans back rather than leaning forward. Now watch the silhouette of this haircut, how lean it's going to be, that bob's going to be. It's going to be so lean because her hair tends to expand. So how'd you do it, Sam? We're working with vertical sections to the path of my eye. Take another slice of what I've cut on that side. Now do not pick up any of this side. Now take a look at that diagram. That's diagram number 4. Let's go to diagram number 6. Okay, now watch how I'm bringing this up and over. My elevation is more diagonal right across to the opposite side. And once again, look how we're scanning these haircuts now. We scan right across. What's really cool is if you change the angle diagonally, you're going to lose the length. When we change it, we keep it parallel with the hair, all we're doing is taking out weight. So once again, going through and taking my section, working just the diamond, up and over. My second product of choice was working with Movability 05 and blow drying our hair with Movability 05. And then what we did was we put a little bit of a little bit of diamond oil in that. It's about blending those products so we get a little bit more slip when we blow dry. Movability 05 is in our flex category, meaning that 05 is the strength of it. It's very mild, not very strong, so you get the movement that you want. Think of fiberglass. Fiberglass has some strength to it, but it's flexible. Same concept behind the Movability 05, Mess Around 10, and Shape Factor 22. Once again, everything coming all the way up. Now watch what I will do to the fringe. The next word I want to give you is lose the word versatility and start saying to a client, your haircut has double identity. If you're with me so far, say yes.
Yes.
I sincerely hope you're getting this, guys. It's time to move on. And I don't know about you, but Sam B and Redken, we're moving on. And we want you guys to keep up with us. Meaning that we're going to be out there and we're going to revolutionize changing the way we do, change the way we think, and the way we say. Now watch the top of this. As I release these clips, you saw how round the bob came out. Watch when we release this, that now the silhouette is going to be more narrow. It's going to sit more straight up and down. You can see that from the underneath. It is the degree of elevation that's creating that and the fact that we're detaching that. Now when I go through and I comb this, now I want you to take a look at how that bob, let's go straight on, give me sticks, Nino, right here, Nino, right here, Nino, give me that shot, okay? And you can see how narrow this sits now, whereas when she came out, it had this. If you're with me, say yes.
Yes.
So this is a great way to go in and do that. Now I'm going to continue to the fringe. Watch how I'm going to work with the fringe area. I'm going to cut a chevron. A chevron is basically a V. You see, the last week is Fashion Week. We saw these fringes going into a V. So what that V is going to do, let's go to the next one, number 7, please. That V, what it's going to do is it is going to give me a chevron or V. Why, Sam? When I do this, she has double identity. She can move it to her right. She can move it to your left. So that's why I don't want to cut this square. So I'll continue that working through the fringe here.
All right, good job, Sam. Give it up for Sam B, everybody. I think the flat iron. I want to share with you the technique. So the idea on this, think about when if some of you ride motorcycles, when you give it gas or you throttle it, you roll back, and then when you dethrottle, you roll forward. So the idea is this: when you're doing these flat waves, all you need to remember is this. If you want it flat or like an off-base set, you're going to just dethrottle, roll forward, and then you're gonna leverage the tail comb over the top, and then throttle, and then sneak in, sneaky, lift up the section, de-throttle, and come back over the top, and then give it some gas, and then to make it look a little bit more organic, a little bit more natural to the way, like a natural finish, if you will, you're gonna end more on a straight or a flick. Don't make them all end perfectly the same. The idea is just to give this nice ripple, not perfect waves the whole way through. And then to finish this off, what we're recommending is to use this beautiful new product that we've come out with. It's called Fashionette 07. So it's got a little sea salt in there going on. And what you want to do is just go through and just mist some of that into the hair and let that product start to react, or let the hair start to react to the product, kind of build this out a little bit. The idea is, you want to see a bigger silhouette. There's a beautiful amount of softness to this, and we want to really get that idea of, it's really soft, you've got that movement going in through the hair. Now, the last thing that I would use to just finish this off, and the thing about this, those of you that do a lot of color in the salon, you don't have to worry about the color fading because this is color safe. So that's a good thing as far as any product that has like salt in it. Now, the next thing that we're going to use in this case is our Windblown 05. So if you think about a product that has like a dry shampoo with oil, this is it. Windblown 05. It's probably one of the most favorite products that we've come out with so far, because of the fact that it's just speaking to the current trends in hairdressing. And to me, there's like this perfect destroyed thing that's happening right now. I think that it's that softness, it's that thing that clients, Sam and I were talking before this, we're talking about consumerism. And I think it's time to really understand the fact that, we got to really start to think about what the consumers want and do things for them. So the idea in this case is to understand the trends and to be able to deliver them and create solutions for your guests. So with that being said, thank you so much for checking that out.
Beautiful New York. You got to rock. All right, I just want to finish this now. You can see how I got that chevron, but I used a blending shear and I just weaved that through. Rather than coming in and scanning that, I want more degree of softness. By pushing back with a blending shear, which I've made reversible for you, you can go in and really control the amount of texture that you control by just simply weaving the blunt blade. Now look what Sam's doing. I'm working with a flat iron, a brush, round brush, not a comb. I want more bevel this season. So looking and doing things differently. Miley Cyrus. Why did Miley Cyrus get so much attention at VMAs? Because everybody thought 2 years ago she made a fool of herself. Yet Miley Cyrus is smart. She did something the next day. Lady Gaga didn't get all the press, Miley Cyrus did. And then Miley Cyrus was smart this year at the VMAs. She shows up and shows she's a human being. If you know what I'm talking about, say yes. Yeah. She brought some guy homeless up and they talk. But here's my point, guys. Miley Cyrus got the attention because she did something different. You want to get the attention of your clients, then we need to change the industry. We need to think, say, and do differently. So notice how Sam worked with a round brush versus a comb. If I can do this, client's going to go, can I do that, Sam? Look, here it is, right there. Look how simple it is. And now it's no longer a blow dryer. It is a flat iron that gives them the look. I can care less how I look. You're most important people to rent it. You're most important. So let me just get it down there. How the hell? Let me be God. All right, watch this now, watch this. This fringe now moves right to left. She's got the ability to move it. Now look how this haircut has changed on her. Now I'm going to move it the opposite way. It will move both directions. And look at the color of the great Justin Isaac. How it plays and gives her double identity with her color. My last product of choice, Hugo, is Powder Grip. So I'm simply going to take my Powder Grip. I want to explode these crowns. It's been vandalized. Let's capture the vandalized. Take your Powder Grip where you want the volume lift and shoot your Powder Grip inside. Take it lift and shoot your Powder Grip inside. So you get the volume that you're looking for, guys, and you get the texture that you're looking for. My friends, your applause is not for Hugo and I, but it's for Laura and Danielle. Show them your way.
And understanding the fact that, we want to be that fashion brand synonymous with fashion. And Guido has done so much, so many runways, has set so many trends. Countless and countless designers trust Guido to, do their looks and complement their clothing. The idea here that we want to share with you is we want to share with you some ideas on styling. So what just happened last week was Fashion Week. And so we want to share with you some ideas on, the common denominator in Fashion Week simply is ponytails. So we want to share with you how we're going to do variations of ponytails and also share with you a different way or creative ways to get a ponytail look in the hair. So I'm going to go ahead and explain to you very quickly what we're doing here. So this is Carly, and with Carly what we've done is we've done a directional blow dry utilizing our pillow-proof primer, and we sprayed that section by section. We did a directional blow dry, all of it going towards the anchor being that ponytail. We used an elastic to do that. Now we also, when we tied it off, we kept our hand over the top and we secured it by making sure that the elastic just came over the top, and then we fastened it towards the direction that we blow dried it in. Essentially, everything working towards keeping that ponytail slightly tilted, and then making sure that when we're done, it's going to come over to the side. We're also just going to extend that with a hair weft, using hairpins, and we're going to loop that up and put it in there, creating a really, really amazing ponytail. So that's the idea, just to set you up on what we're doing, and then we'll catch you back up with the technique.
All right, so idea, guys, of keeping things simple. And I love what Mary said earlier. It's all about simplicity in today's world. And braiding is a big thing, but let's move from braids and let's move to 2 strands so that we get the illusion of braids. And then use the value. When I talk to you about value, there's no value in the back room. The back room is a disease. Get out of the back room. And get on the salon floor when you're not busy, guys. I'm going to look at you and be transparent here. Only because we want to help you. Well, Sam, what? I got a color processing, and it's waiting for it to process. What would I do to add value? Well, here's what Sam's going to suggest we do. Let's change the industry. Get the mannequins out of the back room and get them on the floor. Get them on the floor. Walk over that client while that color is processing. Sit there with the tripod and teach that client how to braid. I understand on YouTube why these girls, 13, 14 years old, are getting millions of hits teaching them how to braid when we need to be teaching them how to braid. It is so important, guys, that you get this. So can you imagine if I walk down the salon floor and I'm teaching a client how to do this? Very, very simple, without the weft. And her hair is as short as mine. But she goes home and now she can braid her daughter's hair. She can do things, guys. That's added value. Not added service, added value. Your time is being used wisely, and now guess what? That client that didn't talk about you for 10 years now starts to talk about you again. Because we're doing something different. So what are you doing, Sam? So what we did was we went through and we hit it with a texture iron. A texture iron is a revolutionary tool that alters the texture of the hair. I wanted to make this hair nice and fat. All I'm doing is, after we texture from base to ends, all I'm doing is tying my shoelace. Now here's the trick. Watch this, AC. I want you to get right on top of this, AC. Come on over here, brother. Give it up for AC, our man here. Give it up for AC. Now watch out. If you can't see, he's blocking you. Look at the monitor. Look how Sam's reaching. Come on, guys. Back that camera up. They got to see this head. There we go. Now watch. Look, I'm grabbing this right here, and I bring it underneath, and I bring it to that back section. I grab the first one I tied the shoelace, and I bring it back. So now I've attached the next tie to her head. So my client is always holding 2. Always holding what? 2. I take the next section. You pivot your sections as you go. So you pivot them. You elevate right out from the head. Elevation is important. Think about dressing hair. It is just as important as when you go in and you cut hair. Your elevation, how I'm over-directing this section. Now I'm elevating straight up. Now watch what I need to do. I need to reach into the front, always grabbing the front, bring it back to you. Bring up the front and back to you. So it's all about rhythm. It's all about what?
Rhythm.
Yeah, it's about rhythm. So now I have the rhythm. And braiding is rhythm. It is not sentences. It is not paragraphs. It is rhythm. So I will continue the rhythm, pivoting my sections as I go through.
Wonderful. All right, I love that technique. You guys definitely, I encourage you to check that out because it is really, really hot and a great way just to get a lot of volume on top of the head there very quickly. So just to share with you, now what we're looking for here is contrast. You see a very structured side on the left side, and then over the right side here of Carly, you can see how it's got that froth to it, that beautiful softness. So, if you can imagine, the idea is, think about silk as a fabric, and then on the other side, think about like a soft cotton or a wool. Now, as we go through here, I want to share with you how you're attaching this weft to a braided ponytail. So what you're doing is, you've got to kind of practice this first because you don't want to run out of, it's like you don't want to, I feel like saying, you don't want to have more month at the end of your money. You don't want to have more ponytail at the end of your weft. So the idea here is make sure that you go and like spread the ponytail, the weft, all the way up towards the base of your ponytail. And then just make sure that you get well around it. So that way, when you go to secure it, it'll look seamless. You won't have that disconnection of the weft and the natural hair itself. So just making sure that as you're going around, just take your hairpin and secure it from the bottom up like this. And then just push it on the weft. Just make sure that you're getting that into the braided ponytail as you're working through. Now, as you get towards that top section there, what we've also done is we've taken the weft and just made sure that we've blackened out the threaded part as well, just so that if you're trying to conceal it, it's a little bit easier to conceal. So you can see here how we've extended this ponytail really large, and so all you're doing now is going through and putting in a pin just to make sure that you're securing that. And obviously, she's going to go to the discotheque. Make sure you've got a lot of control in there because you don't want the ponytail to shake out.
All right, working through the back. You can see, guys, I'm working down the center. You can place this track, what I refer to as a slip tie. As a what?
Slip tie.
As a slip tie, yes, as a slip tie. So what I mean by that, all you're doing is just tying. Remember, your elevation is important. You reach to the front, you grab the back. By the time I get to the ear, my sections will be horizontal. So that you pivot them as you work because the head is round. Remember, your elevation is critical, so you get them to sit next to each other. If you move your elevation down, you're going to start to get a little bit different space. Now look how cool that pattern looks. And it's just simply tying, guys. It's so simple. Yeah, your applause is not for me, it's for her for allowing us to share this with you. So we go right down the center. Once again, let me give you the rhythm. I take a slice, now I'm at that ear, my slice is now horizontal. I come to the ear, my slice is horizontal. I see you guys. Come on now. Eyes here, not here. I saw your front row. Come on. Not here, here. Okay? Now watch what we're going to do. Look at my elevation, how it's changed. I'm going to give you a profile view of that. You can just see how it's changed, that elevation. So it's straight out now because that's where I'm at on the head. Now watch. You continue your rhythm, always reaching. Sam, yes. Can I do this on layered hair? Yes, you can, but my products are going to change. I'm going to change to shape factor 22. Something that has a little bit more control so my layers stay inside. So I don't want you to think that you need long hair to do this. You can actually do this to a bob, and if a client says to me she's going to put on a head scarf or a headband, I'm going to tell her, let me make the headband for you. Let me make this, guys. Listen, watch, watch, watch. Let's go from ear to ear, and you're doing the same thing, split it in half, tie, work your way across, tie a knot. Now she's got a cool headband. If you're with me so far, round of applause. Woo! All right, my last section here, I'm going to continue to take this section, and then you're going to see me add length to this, and I'll add weft. So I get a little bit longer ponytail attached to something that has visual value. Visual value is the client or somebody saying to her, how did you do that? You see, the visual is what got the attention. So I continue to tie all the way through. I hand off. Look how she spreads her fingers. Here we go. And I place it right inside. So Sam, are you saying that the client's going to hold this? Yes. This is an experience for the client. I'm going to get her involved in this, but I'm not going to have her pass me foils. There's a big difference, guys. But this is exciting because it gets her involved in that. Now I simply come through. I'm going to place the weft here, and you're going to see I'm going to come through, and I'm going to tie my next one right into that, guys. Just real simple. Okay, so I'll continue to walk right through.
All right, so we've secured the ponytail, and then what we've done is just brought the hair straight down here, and then just taken the shear, and then cut that off. Actually, I'll show you that. So you just take your ponytail, and then hold that in between your hands, and then just cut it off. That way it's nice and clean. You can see how hard that line is. What I appreciate about that is the fact that it gives it that graphic nature and kind of like a ponytail on steroids, essentially. Now, the other thing I would just put on this is just to give this a little bit more sense of kind of like a romantic feel, is just take and gather this hair right here by the eye, just with the ponytail down, or with the it's a long mat grip. And so the idea here is you just work that into the hair, and it gives this just a really cool kind of difference there. So that's the idea. I mean, it looks it's like so simple, and like I said, it's like making things look simple can be difficult. I think that when it comes together, though, it's quite beautiful. So to finish her off, what we did was we used Control Addict 22 or 28 on the back here, because sometimes, you know, that little, when you wind the ponytail, it tends to kind of unwind. So the Control Addict, you just really spray it in until it gets nice and shiny, and that won't go anywhere. In fact, that's what I use in my hair, and pretty much it's like rock hard. So the idea is it'll just really set that in when you want to make sure, like, you're guaranteeing that that's going to sit there, it's going to stay through the sweat. It's going to do that. Cool? So, yeah, again, you know, I just want to thank you guys for coming out. And, you know, I think that the idea on this is just to give clients, inspire them, and so they can come to the salon with a new sense of enthusiasm. Because why are we showing you to do this ponytail? You're thinking, maybe my client will do this, maybe not. But the idea is sharing with people other styling options and sharing with them that, you know, it doesn't take having to apply wefts to all your head. It just takes a ponytail and then winding it around, and then all of a sudden you've got this super chic look. So inspiring your guests to do something different, inspiring them to do something that is more fashion inspired, but at the same time, taste-wise, it's something that they can still pull off. So again, don't give it up for us, give it up for our beautiful models.
All right, once again, 2 simple sections, guys, going through. Just a great another way to add visual value to what it is that you do behind the chair. Once again, this is not an added service. I want to introduce this to the client while her color is processing, grab a mannequin and teach her and show her what you're capable of doing. The next time she calls, she might want this. That's what I'm going to charge the client as an added service. And once again, as Hugo said, your applause is not for us, but for these beautiful ladies that are allowing us to share our passion with you. Off we go. Woo!